Well, tell us, because I think everyone's interested. I think you've seen this probably a few times. How did you get the Richard Branson interview?
Look, where am I looking?
Oh, wherever. It's fine.
Oh, okay.
Just, yeah.
So, got the interview just from like pure hardcore hustle. And I don't like want to say that like because it sounds cool or anything. Like, honestly, he's been on the front cover of every successful, every big business magazine on the planet, like Forbes, Fast Company, Entrepreneur, and yeah, I had that thought, like, why couldn't he be on the front cover of Founder? At the time, it wasn't even called Founder, it was called something else. And there was this thought that if he could be on the front cover of like all these other business magazines, why couldn't he be on the front cover of Founder? Similar thinking, you know, how we're trying to get like an interview with like Elon Musk, for example. And so one thing I did do is I was like, okay, well, I want to get Richard Branson. Where do I start? And I met this lady who was really, really good at getting interviews for her magazine, because when I launched Founder, like we used this software to launch it because it was just a digital magazine, right? And all these other people were using the software too. And this lady, she taught me around how to get interviews with like hard to reach people, because she was like getting interviews with like for her vegan magazine, funnily enough. Yeah. And it was like, she had like Bono and like Jamie Oliver and all these crazy people. So I was like, how the hell are you doing this? So I caught up with her, reached out just online. Funnily enough, she was from Australia. Her name was San. And, you know, she taught me how to actually, like, she's like, if you have a magazine, first things first, like having a magazine is insanely powerful to get in touch with hard to reach people, but I didn't know it at the time. And then, yeah, she taught me like what you gotta do is you've gotta, like, first always, like if you want any kind of value exchange where it might not look like it's in your favor, you gotta make it like in their favor. So you always think, well, what's in it for them? So I thought about like what's in it for Sir Richard Branson, and you know the fact that, you know, still to this day, you know, we produce content mainly for the younger generation, and you know, we're helping people like the next generation of founders and entrepreneurs start and grow their businesses. And I know that's something that he's really passionate about. So that was kind of my lead. But then the next question was, that was going to lead with, but then the next question was, well, how do I get in touch with him? And I think any of these successful people, this is what she taught me, they have what is called like a gatekeeper. And basically, you know, what your job to, if you want to get it, like an interview or get in touch with these kind of people that are really successful, hard to reach, is you want to find that gatekeeper and you want to pitch them, and you want to make it like, you know, what's in it for them, and make it in their best interest. And because we have a magazine, and even at the time we didn't have that many subscribers, you know, I still just went for it. So the way that I found his contacts and the PR was, you, like every single, like a lot of successful entrepreneurs, they go off and write books, and all of those books are published by like a publishing company. So what I did was I tracked back, you know, who published one of his books. Penguin Random House. And then from there, I just got on the phone, and that was the key thing that she taught me. You've got to make phone calls, because everyone gets so many emails every single day, and like I don't even know if Richard Branson would even check his email, right? Like he's just so like why would he? Like, you know what I mean? Like he'd have someone doing that for him or something, right? So, you know, you've got to get on the phone, and I ended up being able to track back Sir Richard Branson's head of PR for Virgin. So, you know, first of all, I just started calling. Like I started to call. So I spoke to people at the Penguin Random House, and they're like, yep. Because these publishers, they want to sell more books. So it's in their best interest to help me, because I say, you know, we're a new magazine. You know, we want to talk to like Richard Branson, interviewing about XYZ. So then they said, okay, you need to speak to his head of PR, and made a lot of phone calls, and eventually I ended up with his head of PR, and I tried to call her. And I'll never forget, you know, at the time I was living in like this really rundown old place when I was renting with my best mate, and yeah, it was like really creaky. The floors were really creaky, and so we're in Melbourne, in UK time, that's like their early, that's like, yeah, when I called, whenever I called, she was just going to work, and we just finished, it was at like night time. And I tried to call a few times, left some voicemails, couldn't get on to her. And then I called her, and I remember like I was in this crappy old place, and it was really run down, and it was, like rent was like $400 or like a month or something crazy. And anyways, it was really creaky, the floorboards and stuff. And I remember telling my housemate and his missus maybe like, oh, can you guys like just be quiet? And I'm trying to make this call to like Richard Branson, trying to get an interview with Richard Branson, and they just like didn't know what I was doing. And then I ran to my room and closed the door, and I called, and she actually picked up. And I was just like, oh, hey, you know, my name's Nathan Chan, I run this magazine. And it was like stumbling, and yeah, just gave my pitch and was like so nervous, heart beating really fast. And yeah, she was just like, I was like, oh, first thing first, when I jumped on the phone, I said, hey, my name's Nathan, I've been trying to catch you, do you have a second to talk? And she's like, yeah, look, I've got about 1 minute, I'm just about to jump onto the tube, because that's the train system in London. So I had 1 minute, gave my pitch, or maybe 2 minutes, gave my pitch, and was stumbling, and then I was like, no way this is going to happen. And she said, oh, look, please understand, we get these kind of requests like 10 to 20 times a day. Like, shoot me an email. I can't promise that we can make it happen, but I promise I will get back to you. So I thought like for sure it was not going to happen. And then yeah, like sent this email and like I said, what's in it for them, and played on the fact, I guess, and pitched the fact that his first business venture was actually a magazine.
Was it?
Yeah. He ran a student magazine. Yeah. So that was his first business venture. He used to run a student magazine. So I, pitched around that, and then I also pitched around the mission of what we're trying to do. And I know that's something he's really passionate about. And I pitched for a video interview, but yeah, they wrote back. His PR wrote back like a week later and saying like, yeah, look, please understand, like he's super busy, as you can imagine, but happy to do an email interview. Like, and yeah, done, bang. And I took that and ran with it. And yeah, that was early days. That ended up being, issue number 7. And that was a game changer for us to really put a stake in the ground that, like, we're a legitimate business publication. And yeah, that's how I got it done. That's how I got an interview with Richard Branson.
That's huge.
Yeah.
When you like went to pitch them, did you have a pitch all planned out, or was it just off the top of the dome?
I reckon it was probably off the top of the dome, but did have a few bullet points.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But it wasn't necessarily planned out.
Yeah, no. And then the real pitch was in the email. Yeah.
When you got like the response back, how was that moment, like opening the email and seeing all that?
Oh man, I can't. It's so long ago now. I can't even remember, but I remember being super pumped. Yeah.
But I think what's crazy is like you could have done that interview and then just kind of put it on the shelf if you didn't have that mindset and be like, all right, let's find someone just as big as Richard Branson. But you guys took the Richard Branson issue and really blew it up because
Yeah. So we made it free. That was our first free edition, and we did that on purpose. I think that was really smart in retrospect because the brand had just launched, and we used his authority as a level of association, and it was an incredible interview. There's some really good stuff in there that I learnt myself with the questions that we asked him, and then we used that as leverage to really put Founder on the map. And then if you think like from a perspective of nobody's ever heard of the brand and you've got to build something from scratch, if we were showing one of our free editions with Richard Branson on the cover, then it's just like, oh well, these guys must be legit because he's like one of the most photographed people in the world. He's one of the most successful like entrepreneurs in the world. When people think of entrepreneurship, he's like like one of the people you think of, like him, Elon Musk, etc., etc.
Yeah, he's like the face.
Yeah, big time.
Who's like the next top 3? Like, who's your dream 3?
It's got to be. Yeah, we got to get in. We got to speak to Elon Musk. I'd love to get him to share with our community, and then I reckon Warren Buffett or Bill Gates. That'd be really cool. Yeah,
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Warren Buffett built a hotel in Mars.
Yeah.
Yeah, Warren Buffett would be crazy.
Yeah, but Warren Buffett's not so much of a founder per se. He's more of an investor. I don't know. We got a huge list, man. Like, yeah.